Lionel's like my best friend, and we like low-key met in drama class. We was in drama club.
How old?
And we were doing plays, 17, doing plays. I got kicked out of drama club in 8th grade.
For doing what?
Because she said I was too hyper.
Right.
So she kicked me out first day, and I was like, F you, like whatever. But with that said, I like to dress, it's fun.
Yeah.
Goblin, it was a ski mask. Wolf was the camp shit. Then Cherry Bomb, I had the pink face thing, and like, I always loved that. All my videos, I'm bald one scene, like, I don't know, that's really fun.
But I feel like Flower Boy was the first time that you'd kind of like actually just presented yourself.
Oh yeah. I definitely.
That was like a super strong statement.
I was just like, here.
This is me.
Here. Green hat on the cover. Just white shirt, not even a cool shirt. It was a plain white shirt.
Yeah, and there was a ton of questions asked on that album. I mean, you know how I feel because we spoke briefly about, well, not briefly, we had a good conversation about that album, and I still listen to that album. And I feel like you were asking so many questions on Flower Boy and searching for the answers through that record. And yet I feel like Igor, when we were talking before we rolled, I was like, this is such a sad album. It's like you didn't like the answers you got. You know what I mean? It's like a mad...
Well, also, Igor was definitely like all feeling. Woke up in the morning, this is how I felt, made that song, did that for like 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh shit, I have something. It was like 6 songs, 6, 7 songs. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and that's kind of why it goes into this weird chronological order, because that was how I felt that morning. It was like over a span of like 2 weeks almost. And then every time I make an album, I put it in a playlist on my phone just to see how it flows and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, this
flows.
And I was subconscious, like I didn't even notice I was drawing a circle. It was just all feeling.
What was the first song that you made? Can you remember where it started?
First song was Low Key Earthquake, and that's like 2017 in May.
But that may not have even ended up on your record, right? That was initially you were kind of, because I remember we spoke about 2 years ago, you were saying then that you were kind of mucking around trying to find reasons to write for people and see what would
Yeah. I wanted to just write pop songs for people, so I kind of did that. But sometimes you got to just write songs with how you feel or whatever, so I just wrote that. And
but that's like
it came out really cool.
Earthquake's like a love song. It's like to me, it's like an out and out, straight up love song. And it's the first statement on the record that says like, oh, this album is going to be, it's kind of, there's a lot of open heartedness to this record.
Yeah, very 80s pop, kind of what I was going
idealistic love and idealistic heartbreak.
Yeah.
That's what the 80s were. They were like, you don't hold anything back. I feel like after the 70s, which was all sort of bravado and all kind of like, there was some fakeness in there that the 80s was like.
In a bit though, it depends on what sector of music you're talking about. Because I mean, it's a lot of soul shit from the 70s.
Yeah,
a lot of people know that was just pour heart out. But not to go off topic, the 80s is becoming my favorite time. Not just music, but overall. And I used to hate it, but now it's slowly becoming my favorite because of the sector of music that I found over the years.
Like, what are you listening to? Because that's a broad decade. That gets a bad rep, by the way, the 80s, but it's amazing.
What was happening in the UK in the 80s with like, I mean, everything but the girl, Sade, the Style Council, so much weird, like white people trying to make like black soulish music, but they grew up kind of white pop stuff. So this mesh that it made is beautiful. And let's say everything but the girl, Style Council, just the shit that was just coming out of there. And so in the way they were dressing, I love it.
It was kind of
everything seemed so saturated and Freeze, Level 42. These kids just making this
super mature pop music.
Very mature pop, but they clearly study jazz.
Yeah.
So, but they clearly hang out with punk kids because they're in like leather, but like it's this mesh, and I gravitated to that because they didn't really stick to one thing, and I was like, oh, this is fire.
Yeah. And you go back and listen to those records and you're right. I think in the 80s, because the whole culture of the 80s was considered this kind of gross decade where everyone was just going for self, and the fashion reflected that and the production reflected that. But you go back and you listen to it now knowing that every decade in its own way is totally gross. And you go back to the 80s and you realize actually that there was some really weird songs and weird bands going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool shit. Now, I found some shit last night. Hold on. I found some shit last night because I was... It's cold outside. Lynx. This band called Lynx.
Play it. I don't even know what this is.
Some black dude band, kind of in that level 42. I mean, that like Freeze era, but it was more poppy.
Oh my God, listen to how jazzy that is, like.
Bro. Look, he brings out the letter and he like reads the lyrics. Bro, that is the sickest shit to me. What are you talking about? It's cold.